Good evening and welcome to Sports Update on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. We've got a whole lot of stories lined up on the show this evening, and I have a guest in the studio this evening making his debut on this particular program. I have Lasun Omonile joining me on the show this evening. Welcome to Sports Update, Lasun.
Good evening, thank you, It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, let's go straight to business. Let's begin from this particular story where we'll be starting from the home front. They are champions of the Nigerian Premier Football League 2023-2024 season, and it's a good thing that they are preparing for the new season because they will be representing Nigeria when it comes to continental engagement. And they say early to bed, early to rise, and if you fail to prepare, then you prepare to fail. That is what it is, and Enugu Rangers don't want to toe that line, and they have scheduled a date for their resumption, coaches and players to resume July 9 for the new season and in preparation for the CAF Champions League that will be starting next month.
I think it's a great development. Like you said, it's important that they start early. Nigeria has not really had a lot of success, especially on the African front. It's been a while that we brought home the trophy, either the Champions League or otherwise. And so it's important that they start early. It's important that they, start training, maybe get their business right, and then, let's hopefully they are able to achieve better than their predecessors. Okay,
better than predecessors. They won their 8th title, that is Nigerian Premier Football League title, yes, 8 times just weeks ago. Now, in looking at Enugu Rangers in totality, let's just look at the whole season. Well, we had a very tremendous season, yes, no doubt about it, despite the ups and downs we noticed in the league. But in your own assessment, from the way Enugu Rangers played, can they really give that a good account of themselves on the continent, represent us well? The last time we won a continental title was in 23-24, yes, with Enyimba.
Yes, yes, that's what I'm saying. I think what we had with, to be fair, what we had with Enyimba back in the days was phenomenal. We had people who could compete, not just locally but also on the international stage. I mean, some of their players, their play was more memorable. And then I think what we can do right now going forward is to provide a level of support to the boys, giving them that belief in themselves that they can do it. I think we need to have people come up to the field and, I think they can if they put themselves to it.
Okay, you think they can if they put themselves together? For Enugu Rangers, July 9th has been set for the resumption for players, coaches, and everybody, so that they can prepare for the new season, the new NPFL season, and then the continental engagement, which will be starting also next month. And for the Nigeria Football Federation, they've marked 31st of August to kick off the new season 2024-2025 NPFL season. And for Enugu Rangers, let's see how far they can go represent us on the continent. We are hungry and crying for a continental title. All right, let's leave that story. It's our tradition on the show. We look at the Paris Olympic Games and how Nigeria is preparing for this particular event that is 22 days, less than 22 days away from now. July 26th will be starting of the Olympics, and we're looking at Team Nigeria's preparation towards this particular event. And now we'll be looking at Super Falcons who started training yesterday, with some players coming into the camp, and as we speak, some of them have joined the camp this evening. And yesterday they began training, though some of them arrived on Friday, not until yesterday when they had their first light training right there in Spain, where they are preparing for. And the biggest, because everybody wants to go to the Olympics.
Of course, it's a dream for everybody. I mean, both the men and women football has. It's a dream for a lot of players, even the more established players, to compete at the Olympics. And I think football is one of the sports in the Olympics where we as Nigerians, we always, look forward to performing and then maybe bringing something home. And of course, I'll be cheering for the girls and wishing them all the best.
Okay, you'll be cheering for the girls. Now, let's look at it this way. For the Super Falcons, in quite a number, the last time they graced the Olympics was in 2008. Yeah. And now we are in a very difficult group. Spain, Brazil, Japan in Group C of the women's football event right there. How do you see the whole scenario with the Super Falcons
making it out of this particular group? Well, like they say, a group of death, if you will. But there's a popular saying: to be the best, you have to beat the best, right?
Yes, of course.
So whether we play Brazil now or later, at some point we'll have to meet them in the course of the competition. So if you want to win, you're going to have to maybe put your best foot forward. Of course, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's going to be a little bit difficult, maybe more than a little bit. But I believe in the girls. I mean, they proved themselves over time in the World Cup that we saw.
Yeah, in New Zealand and Australia.
And they did very well. I mean, they gave some of the big teams, England, a tough time, and then looking forward to what they do this time around. Okay, looking forward to what they do this time around. A lot has been going on with these girls. If you look at it over the years, they have given Nigeria a very good representation. Absolutely. Going to a competition. Now, inside this group, let's look at most especially their game against Spain, the world champions. Yes. I can say, okay, maybe Super Falcons can hold their own against Brazil and Japan, but the world champions. Well, like I said earlier, to be the best, you have to beat the best. Let's not kid ourselves. These are very, very tough matches. These are very, very tough matches, if I could repeat myself. But you give your best in, you put your best foot forward, and then don't cower before the match even started. I mean, if you've been following some of the football, anything can happen, right? Yes, so if you've been following the Euros, we've been seeing a couple of upsets. So why can't we do it? Okay, why can't we do it? These guys will have to do it against Brazil, Spain, and Japan. They will play some of their games in Bordeaux and the other one in Nantes. The game against one of the countries will be played on that famous pitch where Nigeria defeated Spain 3-2. If you can remember, Sunday said thunderous strike from the middle of the field, and that sent Spain packing in France 98. Well, let's see, they get that luck and also smile on these guys when they take on these three teams in Group C of the women's football event at the Paris Olympic Games. All right, still talking about the Paris Olympic Games. It's a very big miss for the Super Falcons and for the 200 million football fans of Nigeria. We are going to be missing the services of the lady you're seeing on the screen, Ashley Plumter. She came back from injury, and fitness-wise, she couldn't make the 18-man list that was released by Around the World. Unfortunately, it's a huge loss. I think she posted a message on social media where she was expressing her sadness, how she tried to make it, but she couldn't. It's a big loss. It's a huge loss to us. I mean, we know how important she is, and she has been in the team, but hopefully the girls can do it without her, and I know she'll be cheering for them too. Okay, talking about that, we also had let's look at this side by side. Halimatu Anyide also just the day the list came out, the following day, I think 3 days later, right, I think thereabout, she was declared injured by her club in Sweden. Now we're missing 2 key players. Yes. But for Ashley Plumter, I am not the coach. Despite maybe fitness-wise, do you think we could just maybe we've seen Luke Shaw going to Euros, even when he's not fully fit. But can we do the same thing for Ashley Plumter? In my own opinion, I don't know if you. I think it's a big risk, and I wouldn't encourage it, to be fair. I wouldn't. Of course, you want your best players on the biggest stages. That's just natural. But if they are not fit, if they're not fully fit, if they cannot put in their best, I mean, look at how badly England is missing Luke Shaw right now, missing on the left flank, and we can't afford to take that kind of risk. In my opinion, I think we will be fine. Okay, we will be fine. They have to nail a replacement for Ashley Plumter, and also Ashley Plumter initially was not on the list, but the alternate list, they have to just name one player in the coming days that will fill in for Halimatu Anyide, who was out injured, and it's a sad one because she's when it comes to that middle of the pack, she's our NG room alongside Christy Uchebe. But let's see who round the world drum will be picking to replace Halimatu Anyide. We just wish both of them, Ashley Plumter and Halimatu Anyide, quick recovery so that they can join Super Falcons. We still have the Women's Nations Cup coming up, and then they will be praying for the next World Cup also. All right, still talking about the Paris Olympics. This time around, let's go to France, where the officials, the organizers of the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, says they are going to show a value of hosting this particular tournament. Olympics is just like I can place Olympics and the World Cup
side by side.
Absolutely. And to be fair, I think they are trying to save face. Let's be honest. They've had a very challenging preparation. I mean, we saw the rat infestation and all of that.
Security
issues there, and they had to get creative. I mean, people are talking about if this was happening in Africa, for example, the opera will be much more than this. Let's be fair. But well, I think maybe they are trying to save face. They are trying to put on a brave face and say, "Oh, we are ready. We can do this." Hopefully, they can and give the world a befitting Olympics. I mean, we want a repeat of.
Okay, give the world a befitting Olympics from the 26th of July to 11th August. The city of Paris and other cities in that country will be busy with a lot of events. And you know, the mother of all sports when it comes to Olympics, that is the athletics, the track, where we have Nigerians. Let's just deviate a bit. Nigerians also will be showcasing at the track and field event. And right now, if you look at our athletes in the world, I think they are going to hold their own when it comes to this particular.
I hope so. I think over the years, if you follow the Olympics tradition of Nigeria, we've done well in football. We've done well in the short distance races, the 100 meters and the 50 meters. Hopefully we can do. I don't like going back to the glory days of Olusoji and all the rest of them, but. It's not really healthy for us to be looking back, but let's see what we do this time. I think we can give a good account of ourselves. We are 200 million for the love of God, and I think
we can hold our own.
Good athletes, yes.
All right, the same way Paris, the organizers are planning to showcase a good event to the world. Also, Team Nigeria are planning to also come back with medals. We will not go to that city and complete numbers, but we are completing numbers and bringing back the medals. Yeah. That is what it is, and we are hopeful that our track and field event athletes represent us well in their various fields. Now let's go straight to a FIFA headquarters. Let's go straight to Zurich, and then talking about the Under-17 Women's World Cup. Good one for the Flamingos in the last edition, but the news right now is that the official mascot for the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup has been unveiled, and it's called Tatiana. In the Caribbean language, and now we 100 days to this event. It will start from the 16th of October to 3rd November, and Nigeria is not left out. We have been grouped alongside the host, Dominican Republic, New Zealand, Ecuador. Well,
in this competition, it's a little bit tricky because we're not really, you don't have a good view of who the players are going in, but then under age competitions are always where Nigeria, we've done well over the years, both in the men and women competitions. So of course, we'll be cheering for the girls, and not a lot of judgment on that, but we also expect a good outing, obviously.
Okay, if you look at Coach Bankole Olowokere, that's the coach of the side. Yeah. I think he has there's this track record, good track record for him. Yes. The last edition in Indian, we won the bronze, and the coach is saying yes, they want to go further than that. Either by coming back with the gold, yeah, or at least silver, finishing second.
Matching, of course, we always have to want to match the previous record at the very least, and I think we can go for it. We have very good footballers all over this country. If you've gone around, watched our girls play all over the country, both from the north to the south, you can see we have a great crop of talent, and I think we can make a good show of ourselves.
Okay, we can make a good show of ourselves. Let's still dwelling on that quickly. The last playing against the host country, psychologically, you know what it means?
Of course, it's always tricky. First of all, you have to expect that is the match that the entire stadium will be filled up. There will be fans on your back, so you don't expect any niceties at all.
No friends.
No friends in the stadium at all.
Okay.
Just your teammates. So, but then if you beat the host country, it gives you a lot of confidence boost. And then maybe when you
competition.
Okay. Course, obviously.
For the Flamingos of Nigeria, they have to contend with New Zealand, Dominican Republic, and Ecuador in that group. And these girls, I think they are battle ready for this particular competition. It's no fluke making it to the World Cup. All right, let's come back to the continent of Africa. Well, it is what it is. The way as it stands right now is a good news for Nigerian clubs, where we have been given Confederation of African Football have extended club submission. The date has been extended from the 16th to July 20th to allow all the various FAs on the continent to submit the clubs that will be representing in the CAF organized competition, the CAF Champions League and the Confederations Cup.
Yes.
We have Enugu Rangers for the CAF Champions League, and then Remo Stars. Then for the Confederations Cup, Academy Warriors, and I think Shooting Stars will be representing the continent, representing Nigeria on the continent.
Yes. Well, to be fair, I think we generally going forward, we have to do better with our competitions. Maybe find a way to harmonize our competitions across the continent, so we don't have to have these extensions and thereabout. But then it gives you more time to prepare, better time to focus on the games coming up. I mean, for us as fans, we don't really care about this back and forth going on behind the scenes. What we want to see is action.
We want to see action.
We want to see the boys on the field and showing themselves. That's what we are interested in. But of course, I expect the administrators to get their business in order.
Okay, the administrators to get their business in order before this extension. The deadline was given 30th of June, and then Nigeria just had to meet up. The FA Cup was played, the Women's FA Cup and the Men's FA Cup was played on the same day. That was on the 29th of June at the Nicom Stadium, so that we could beat the deadline. But as it stands right now, we have all of our clubs that will be representing us on the continent. So the extension is for other countries, FAs that have not really produced their various clubs that will be representing them when it comes to the continental engagement. Everything, hostilities will start in August. That's the CAF Champions League and the Confederations Cup. That's the first round. The qualifying phase will start, and we are hoping, wishing Enugu Rangers, Academy Warriors, Borno, Remo Stars and Co. to do us well when it comes to this event. All right, let's go back to Europe and look at some transfers on the show this evening before we go on the show. But let's begin with this. Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, Lazio, Marseille, Valencia tables £25 million bid for Manchester United Mason Greenwood. His future at Man U is still on debate, but these 5 clubs thereabout tabling £25 million, all of them are ready to grab this. I call him a very good player, but let's not go into that. These clubs are tabling £25 million bid for Mason Greenwood.
I think it's unfortunate that Greenwood has found himself in a situation like this. He's obviously a very talented player, but I guess that's one or two things to work on. But like you said, moving on from that, I think he still has a lot of talent, a lot of grit in his leg, and I'm hoping he showed himself last season. To be honest,
with
Getafe, he did very well, scored a couple goals, and then he showed again that he can play on the wing, he can be up front, and he can be a very versatile player. To be honest, clubs like Barcelona actually need him.
Yes, of course.
Atletico Madrid. To be honest, even his parents' club needs him.
Okay,
just that it's complicated right now.
Now, for Manchester United, do you think it's going to be a wise decision allowing this move? Because if we look at last season, they actually struggled in front of goal, and the worst season for Manchester United so far. They considered the same number of goals they scored in the whole season. So, letting this young man go, do you think it's a wise decision from Erik ten Hag and the man with the money now?
Well, I think the entirety of Manchester United last season was embarrassing, to be honest. And then if you look at the way they played, you know that a lot of problems that they had came from the right wing, where Mason Greenwood could have been an absolute gem, a revelation. But unfortunately, they couldn't. Well, the new man that has come in, he seemed to be showing a lot of weight, throwing his weight around.
Yes, there's money.
Hopefully, he can match all those talks with some actions.
Okay.
And if they're not bringing Mason Greenwood back, I expect them to do business and show up their wing.
Okay, obviously. And show up their wing. Also, the likes of Jadon Sancho is likely not to stay in that team as we speak. For Mason Greenwood, he just wants his future to be settled so that he can make his choice. Now, out of these clubs, if you have the opportunity to tell Mason Greenwood where, Juve, Marseille, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Valencia, which one will you pick?
I think I would advise him to stay in Spain. He has been welcomed there in Spain, of course, with a few rancor here and there, but on the average, totally, he has been welcomed. He's enjoying himself. He looks to be enjoying his football. So I probably would suggest Barcelona, a team that will give him, Champions League football, obviously, the leverage to also express himself. They don't, they are more direct. They hold the ball, which is very good at, and he can also burst forth in in counter-attack. So I think Barcelona might be a good fit for him.
Okay,
if they can afford him, obviously.
That is another thing. If they can actually afford him, because we know what is around Barcelona right now, they can actually sign players because they are under the UEFA and FIFA whatever fair play rule, and they need to spend wisely. Okay, let's leave Mason Greenwood. I also look at another transfer. It concerns Manchester United again. They are all over the news. They want to buy this, they want to buy that. This time around, Manchester United may consider another bid for Everton defender, that is centre-back Gerard Brentwaite. Man U is chasing this guy, and for Everton they are holding out £70 million, and Man U say they don't want to make a mistake. Maguire 80. let me remind you.
Obviously, I think Manchester United need the player, and once you show to other clubs, especially
you have
the money, and then you are desperate for the player, you expect them to jack up the price, obviously. And then if you've been following the financials of Everton, they need a lot of money to shop their finances.
Yes, of course, we know
and then when you look at Manchester United's backline, it's a joke as it is. And the likes of
Martinez is there.
Oh, come on! First of all, Martinez was off injured for most of last season.
Okay.
They played matches where they had Evans and Maguire at the back. These are not the kind of defenses you want when you want to compete at the higher stages. To be fair, they spare their blushes. They won the FA Cup, but going into the new season, you need at least 4 very good centre halves, and Manchester United does not have that right now.
But for Jerez, would he be a good addition to that back line for Man U?
Well, that's a gamble you take. Right now, that's a gamble that Manchester United have to take. I believe they have not done good business over the years. They've spent money all over the place that have not brought back the returns that they want. I mean, the likes of Rafael Varane, Casemiro, who are allegedly on very high wages but have not produced the goods for them. So hopefully Braithwaite comes through and he's good. But even with him, you will still need a very fully fit Lisandro Martinez to complement the defense.
Yes, of course. Okay, you need a fully fit Lisandro Martinez, who is with the Celeste in Copa America. He got one of the goals during the Copa American game, and that game went straight to penalty. It ended in their favor. That is for the Celeste, the Argentines, who will also be playing the Copa America semi-final. That game is due for Wednesday, early hours of Wednesday morning. All right, let's take the last one on the show this evening. Before we will go, Manchester City shows interest in Newcastle United winger Anthony Gordon. This Man City, they always go for the best.
Of course,
fantastic player, but I believe they have a lot in their arsenal. Why go? They should allow that teams to.
I think. First of all, I'm amazed by Gordon's move. His push. He has proved himself. Moved from Everton to Newcastle, and he has played very well. To be fair, and then you have to look at Manchester City. Look at their wings. For example, Jeremy Doku has not really delivered as expected. So you expect them to want to go into the market and bring in some more players. And like Guardiola has always said, any player that wants to leave his team is allowed to leave. And as you're looking at them, we're hearing rumors that Tribuna might be leaving, Ederson might be leaving. So he will obviously need to show up some of those.
Okay, for Manchester City, let's quickly, before we go, because we are out of time, come next season, where do you think they will finish?
I think it might be tricky.
If position.
I guess it depends on where the rules come back in from their charges with the financial fair play problem. So I don't know if they will be points will be deducted off of them or whatever. But I'm hoping and praying that they don't end up as champions again. We need a new champion.
We need a new champion. Who is that champion? Your team?
Arsenal, obviously.
Okay. Let's see how the 2024-2025 season will be in the EPL and also in the Nigerian Premier Football League, because we will not leave our own and talk about the white, but we also need to talk about our own. The NPFL season coming is going to be a tough one with what we just witnessed last season, and also in the EPL, according to Omonile, we need a new champion in the EPL and also in La Liga. But let's see how it goes. That is what we'll be leaving it on the show this evening. Thanks for joining me on the show. It's been a wonderful one having you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, that is it on the program. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. Say thanks for watching.